This is me. You don't need to do this. She's Tracey. I'm Carol. It's my Outlander Purgatory. Let's go. You guys, she just counted down from 5 really slowly. I was
No, it's the way they do it on TV. The stage manager goes 5, 4, 3, and then you don't want to be heard on the 2 and the 1, so you just go. And that's how I do it.
Thank you
and
for
Carol
that.
Gets mad.
Thank you for that. Oh my God, the fruit
Because she's such a bitch, Carol is.
You know what, Tracey? You are...
You suck, Carol.
Wait, was I rude or were you rude?
You were rude because you're always rude.
No, I'm the one who's the bad parent.
Oh, that's right.
Come on, you got to take some credit. You've got to be the rude one and I'm the bad parent.
Okay. And thus ends another episode of Make Fun of the Comments for this week.
This week's comments are sponsored by Facebook. That was fun. I was going to say borderline fun, but no, that comment was
100%
fun.
fun. All right. Well, we like just jumped in without acknowledging all of you who are watching. Welcome to another Outlander Season 3 recap. We are discussing, as we've made clear before, the comments that we're getting from these videos. The comments from the majority of the comments from this past week. My God.
So awesome. And it's killing me that I have not been able to get to everyone and to answer everyone yet.
I know. Me too. We read them all, though. I mean, I literally get them all emailed to me. So I'm reading every single one on email. I wish Carol would not respond to everyone because a lot of times Carol's like, thanks for writing. Like, okay, all right, this is totally like, okay, when you guys are like emailing and, at work and stuff, you don't want to be that guy who's like the thank guy. That thanks
Am I
guy.
that guy?
So,
Am I that
like,
guy?
basically you're like, you email, like, your, business client or whatever, and you're like, I need this, and they're like, here it is. You don't want to be the guy that's like, thanks, because, like, the person receiving it is like, oh, Jesus Christ, another email? Really? Oh, it's you, no. I don't need the thanks. I'm all good.
No.
All good.
Or like the smiley face.
I mean, yeah.
Or like the return text, LOL.
Yeah. So, Carol, like, that's the thing. If you were going to comment just to be like, thanks, it's really great. I agree. Like,
I don't say I agree.
No, you
I only thanked people because they were nice about Tom.
Yes. And, oh my God, the comments about Tom were so nice.
So sweet. And that's what I'm saying. I haven't been able to get to all of them, but apparently Tracey doesn't think I should. But I
do read them all. I mean, do you get them all in your email?
Here's the deal. I get the mop comments on my email.
Mm-hmm.
So I read all the mop comments. I just can't always go back on and respond. But if somebody mentions Tom, I've tried to go in and say thank you. But because I know when okay, I'm the opposite of you. I get it what you're saying about that guy at the office and all that kind of stuff. And the LOL text when you're like, all right. It's like Japanese businessmen who keep doing this and they don't, who's going to stop first? I don't know. But honestly, for me as a poster, if I'm on a web page, if I'm on a blog, whatever, and I comment, I love a little response that they saw my comment. So
well, I like them. Like, I normally will like all of them on YouTube because I get all the YouTubes on my phone
Facebook.
too.
Facebook, I go on to like, because I want them to know that I read this.
Me too.
The only time I don't like it is if I'm really like a little offended, or if
they
I'm
make
like,
fun of us.
Yeah, if I'm like, that was mean or whatever, then I'm like, all right, you know what? I don't have to like this.
But on today's negative, the one negative comment we got was on Facebook. They said we were like bad sisters.
Is this the one that we were talking about?
Yeah, and a bad parent.
This again. Oh yeah, we don't treat ourselves like beautiful. What was it? Beautiful.
I don't even know. We don't act beautiful toward each other. And Carol's a bad parent.
And I'm a bad
parent. Hilarious. But the best part was like the moppers came to our defense. And
Tracey, you guys, Tracey texted me and she was like, all right, we have a bit of an internet troll on Facebook, but all our buds are totally backing us up. And I went on and it was so nice and refreshing to see everyone like, what? That was so rude.
all right. Enough of the negativity. It's all about the purgatory positivity. Hashtag purgatory positivity. Carol, do I even need to ask by this point? You know?
No, but thank you for reminding me because I'm empty.
Really? I think both Carol and I are already one in, so this is going to be good.
I mean the bottle was empty. I mean my glass.
I am drinking, because I'm the only one that actually drinks anything interesting, something called butter.
Okay, now you wonder why she thinks that someone here is rude to someone here.
That's just a fact.
I'm the only one who drinks something interesting.
It is! You've drunk Santa Margarita in every video this season. Mix it up.
No, because you know what? Do you love these? My friend Barb gave me this. Barb and Dom, and I love them to pieces because, ta-da!
I use them too, but I tend to just put the little corky thing in because,
yeah.
you know, if you have to use that, it means you're not drinking it quick enough.
All right, you know what? Number one, I have told you a million times, I love to try new wines, but when we're doing this, we go to bed late, we have to get up early tomorrow morning, and I can't have a headache. So I stick with the one who brung me.
It's all good. I just like this wine because it's called butter. Butter. Like this episode, it was like butter. All right. See, that was a nice transition into actually talking about Outlander.
All right, let's actually talk about Outlander.
Okay. So, this episode, Carol.
Oh, boy. You guys, though, honestly, my notes... Oh, wait, hang on.
Do you have a lot of notes?
Oh.
Really? I mean, I think I have almost 2 pages, but I felt like it was like sort of
I
was taking notes at anything, just to take notes.
We gonna have fun tonight.
Okay. Here's my quick assessment of this episode. This episode was the 10 Our Fathers and 10 Hail Marys that you need to say in order to be absolved of your sins and be worthy of the promised land. Am I right?
This episode was like a very special Outlander. Tonight on a very special Outlander. And it was like one of those episodes where you're like, well, there has to be one like this in every season.
Yes. We needed to have this episode.
Yes,
it's
needed
got,
to
like,
have
all
it.
sorts of exposition.
And you know what? The more I watch it, the more, I'm not going to say the more I like it, but the more I appreciate it.
Okay. It needed to be in there. It gives us a lot of information. You know, it gets Claire moving and shaking. You know, it was kind of the transition to going back to the past. Sorry, I'm like, wait, we've been laughing too hard and I'm way Fleming now. But, you know, is it one of my favorite episodes in the world? Probably not.
Heck no!
It's not going to go down as one of my favorites ever. But
I cried, though. I cried.
I don't know that I did.
And I have some funny comments, so let's hurry up.
Much like Bree, I did not.
Well, let me ask you a question. Do you think it's like a mom thing, maybe?
Maybe. It's a good point. Maybe. And I think I got a little bit teary. I got a little bit teary after Claire had, like, made the superhuman suit. And, and was like, you know, spilling her guts. I was spilling her guts to Bree. I was a little teary there, yeah.
Had she called it the bat suit before that thing had music? Because I was like, what are they? Is it Batman?
It was Batman. Yes, it was.
I was like, why are they playing Batman? But then they called it the bat suit later. And I was like, oh, okay.
Okay. Shall we start from the top? This is Outlander 305. It's Freedom and Whisky. The writer is Tony Graffia. Always a good one. And the director, much like pretty much all of the directors this season is Brendan Maher. I wonder if like he's only there's only one episode so far that he has not directed, so it's a steady gig for him.
Gets the job done.
Gets the job done. Okay, the Easter egg was somebody, I'm guessing it was Claire, painting a little ornament that was for Bree's first Christmas.
Was she painting it or just hanging it?
No, she was painting it. She was like making it.
Okay, I have like a very similar ornament that says baby's first Christmas. Christy gave it to me.
Is it your first Christmas or is it your kid's first Christmas?
It's my kid's first Christmas. That's my question was, do you guys have them like baby's first Christmas from the 60s? Like,
oh my God. Carol, we have all of those like ornaments that people made us from like when we were, we have all
that say baby's first Christmas.
I mean, I don't think they say that, but
that's what I'm saying, because that's a big type of ornament now. A lot of people, you give them to people for gifts and stuff, like if at a baby shower or something, whatever. But I don't really remember having ornaments back then that said baby's first Christmas. So I found it interesting.
It didn't say babies. Didn't it say Bree's first Christmas?
I don't know. Maybe it did.
It said Bree's.
Mine
probably
says baby.
Like we still have, on my parents' tree, you will still find these like my mom's aunt used to make Christmas ornaments every year for us. So she made like little men out of lifesavers.
Oh, they were so cute.
I know.
Is Aunt Lillian?
No, it was Aunt Noni, maybe.
I thought it was Aunt Lillian.
No, maybe I don't know. And we have like little balls with our pictures on them from when we were like 4 or 3.
Very cute.
A ton of stuff like that. So it was definitely
that you're talking about something different. I am talking about ornaments that say baby's first Christmas or Bree's first Christmas. Oh, mother of God, the first Christmas.
You guys, she's being mean to me. Comment.
I'm being mean. Are you kidding me? All right. So
anyway, I thought it was very nice. I liked it because it was interesting because, as it turns out, this is also their last Christmas, or well, I guess we don't really know that, but like, it.
Hey, she doesn't think she can ever come back.
Their last Christmas together. So I kind of like the synchronicity of it.
Synchronicity.
It was kind of cool. Okay, so we start out. Claire is in surgery. She's channeling her inner, George Clooney from ER days. And she's, got her hands in some lady's gut, and she's pulling shit out here and there. And then she's like, wait, I want to, just go get one more, piece of crap out here. Now, was that Joe Abernathy, across from her? Or was it some, random misogynistic dude?
I thought it was Joe, and I have written down, Claire knows so much more than Joe.
I don't think it was Joe because he was a real douchebag, whoever it was.
He was?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He was like, no, there's not enough time. Not realizing that this is Claire we're talking about.
It's Claire. I thought it was Joe, and forgive me if it wasn't. I wasn't even really paying attention. He was just standing there. They're always together medical wise, you know what I mean, at the hospital and stuff.
I guess the only reason I thought it wasn't him is that maybe I thought that if it was, she would have said something when she went back in the office or something, sucka or whatever.
I don't know, but this brings me to... he needs to step back and realize how much smarter she is than everyone else. But this brings me to last week. Excuse me. Who was the patient when he called her in Scotland? And she was like, Joe, oh, it's so good to hear your voice. And he's like, oh, Claire, you doing it? All right, the reason why I'm calling. And he says, Joe Schmo.
It was just some random dude, and patient.
She was like, not Joe Schmo. The way she said it, in fact, I probably have notes on this, made me go, is this someone we're supposed to know? Is this, because I've watched the episode now 3 more times. Tom even left it on the other day. We were cleaning up the dishes from dinner, and he was like, he left it on, and I go, you don't have to leave this on. You can turn it. And he goes, no, I like this. So I want to watch it. And I was like, what? who is this person? So then I was wondering if this surgery, because it seemed to be stomach. Mm-hmm. So I was like, remember they were talking about the stomach in the last one? They were talking about the stomach in that situation. So I was like, is this a continuation? Are we now doing surgery on whoever it was that Joe called? But it couldn't have been because it was too much time passed.
I thought it was just some random patient, and I thought this was some random patient. And I don't remember her being all concerned last time. I remember her being like, oh, Joe, you can handle it. It's not such a big deal, really.
Yeah.
You know, if it was really important, I would come back. But, just scurry off there.
And he looks like he wants to smack her upside the head. The other day, I said something to Ian about smacking upside the head, like joking around. I'm going to smack you upside the head. He's like, wouldn't that be downside the head? Okay, so anyway, keep going. Are we finished with that? Can we get on to the Paul Revere lesson?
Yeah, I think so. It's just she gets respect, whatever. So what we learn is Claire's good under pressure. She's good medic. She's a good doctor. She's a good surgeon. She pulls crap out of people. The end.
And she's better than everyone else in that house.
She's better than everyone else. So don't stand in her way, bitches. Come on.
No.
Okay,
no.
Moving on. Bree is in her college class, and they're learning about the midnight ride of Paul Revere. Except it didn't really go down. You know, that whole poem is fake news. It's fake literature because it didn't really happen that way.
Do you think they learned about Christopher Columbus after Paul Revere?
What do you mean?
I have Columbus Day on the brain, and how our school now went to a half day from a full day off.
What's up with getting Columbus Day off, please?
Everybody
have to work.
Well, everybody hates Columbus now, so all of a sudden it's like Columbus Day, but he didn't do this and he didn't do that, and he was this and he was that.
What the hell was Columbus Day off? I know somebody whose kid has a long weekend from college because it's Columbus Day. What the hell?
We've always had it off. I have one kid who has it off and one who only has a half day.
Thanksgiving off, you know.
So what was with the Paul Revere lesson? Why? Why did we have... Because he kept talking for a while. And I was like, okay, why are the producers focusing on this for a good 2-3 minutes longer than they needed to? Filler? You think they were like, we need something in this
They were
episode?
like, okay, all this Claire Bree Raj stuff is taking up 15 minutes, so we need...
God.
Come on.
Get something else in there. Could he talk a little about George Washington while he's at it?
Okay, so as I wrote down, Bree is failing Tired Poetry 101. The professor's really concerned. I don't know. I mean, I guess, you know what? I guess it's believable that Bree would go from being a stellar student to failing everything. Although, in the professor's defense, this doesn't seem like that hard of a class, quite frankly. It seems like the kind of class you would probably pretty much ace in sophomore year of high school.
And she's like, maybe I'm not smart enough to be at Harvard.
And she should listen to Elle Woods.
What, it's hard?
And he's like, you wouldn't have gotten in. You wouldn't be here at Harvard if that was the case. And I was like, her dad got her in.
She's a total legacy, bro. So clearly Bree is not happy at school. So she gets home and she decides it's snooping time. Snoop, Bree.
Snoop.
So she goes snooping around the room and feeling up the chairs and looking in this box and looking in that box. And I think she looks at her ornament. No.
Did you take that as snooping? I took that as being nostalgic and missing her father.
I'm not sure what I took it as, quite frankly. I didn't know why she was doing it.
Because she was touching things of her father's because she misses her father because it's Christmas.
Oh, I thought she misses her father because they were talking about him in the classroom.
I don't know. To me, it was like the Christmas tree, and she was picking this up and that up, and then she went into his pipes, and it was so weird because she opens the box.
What's in the box?
She's all wistful, and I see the pipe, and I I have written down like, I hate you, Frank. Like, it's awful. It's awful. I don't hate Frank. But at that moment, I was like, oh, enough, Frank. And I was like, even dead, I still feel like, get off that baby.
I felt like this was, if you don't read the books, I mean, this isn't a spoiler by any means, but Diana does a lot of this. She talks a lot about people, like, if they're kind of like restless or they're not sure what to do or they have a big decision to make, they walk around the room picking things up and putting things down. And I felt like
the
Bree
vein
was doing
in their
that.
neck, the vein in their neck is throbbing, or in their temple. There's a lot of temple throbbage that happens.
I felt like there was a lot of picking things up and putting things down. I wasn't quite sure why. I guess maybe she missed Frank, although she never really seems that upset about it. I don't know. I mean, I don't know. So
I think that was their way of showing Bree missing her father.
Okay.
At Christmas.
Okay. And not quite knowing what to do about, like, she doesn't want to disappoint him by, like, dropping out of Harvard, but she's going to do it anyway.
Right. They're basically trying to show you Bree's confusion over this whole Bree has two daddies situation.
Right.
So they're trying to show you that Bree's not good with this in the head and she doesn't know what to do about it. And that's why she's failing. I'm not getting into college. Face it, I'm failing. I'm not getting into college. I'm not staying at Harvard.
I'm failing. No big deal.
Oh my god, those commercials. And the best about those commercials, the best thing ever was, like, they made those commercials, 15 years ago? But then they remade them again, and they cast all the new actors who look like the old actors, and they have the exact same lines, in the exact same intonations, and the exact same, like, motions.
God, I'm totally writing down, find I'm not getting into college video, Tracey.
Both versions. So, she goes like this, too, like she's like, shushes her hair a little bit.
Face it, I'm not getting into college.
Who?
She totally, actually, you know what? That girl in that commercial totally has, like, the curly red Jamie hair.
Now that I think about it.
I wonder if she was like, it was down to Sophie Skelton. And they're not getting into college, girl.
What? What did you say?
I said, for the part of Brianna, it was down to Sophie Skelton. For the not getting into college, girl.
Oh my God.
Oh my god.
Oh my God. Face it. I'm not getting into college. Isn't she?
Oh my god.
I'm
might
getting
have to
into
stop
college.
so I can, like, wipe my eyes off and I don't have mascara. Like, just tell me if I have raccoon eyes. Oh my god, that was so funny. Okay. We're gonna move on and we're gonna be here all night.
Oh my God. It was between the two of them. I think last casting. What are we going to do? Oh my God. Oh my God. I got to find that right now.
Okay. All right. Okay. So after she's gone through the pipes and all that shit, we're back at the hospital. Claire and Joe are in the office, tossing back a few. It's almost quitting time, as anybody is wont to do in their office. Joe keeps a bottle of bourbon or something, like, stored in his desk drawer. It's so funny because I just had this conversation. We're back to being, like, incredibly busy again. Are you still there? Or are you frozen? You're still
No,
We're back to being incredibly busy again at work. And I don't know if you saw This Is Us. Did you watch This Is Us?
We're like 5 episodes in, but we had to give it up for a little while because it's a little depressing with the whole.
Yeah, got it. Well, now, I mean, there's a thing about,
she's not paying attention.
I gotcha.
No, you didn't see me going
with the keen set. I know.
Yeah.
I got it. Oh, I can talk because they can.
We had to put that show away for a little while.
The whole thing with the keen set, it's hard to watch this. I got it. But at one point, like, one of the characters I won't say who, but whatever. Like is really stressed at work, so he reaches into his desk drawer, pulls out a little flask, puts a little shot in his coffee, and puts it back in the desk drawer.
Yeah,
And
I think I've seen that. I saw that one.
I was like, we need to do that. But clearly, Joe Abernathy got the message. He's got the flask. He's pouring him and Claire a little bit. Claire fesses up about her mystery man. Her mystery date.
Yeah. All right. First of all, I'm clearly it's 1968 because how often do you just see these two people in their office when they're doctors? Are one of you on call?
Well,
they're sitting there. My favorite was when Joe came striding, came across the room with the two glasses, like it was Edge of Night. I was like, what am I watching? It was total Edge of Night.
Bar area, all set up. And what's up with, isn't she the head of surgery? What's up with the head of surgery having to share an office, please? I mean, is that
and a nurse walks in.
Okay, you're at a hospital a lot lately. Okay, so you're a doctor that you go to a lot. Does he, share his office with, I don't know, the, surgeon in charge of, ingrown toenails or whatever?
We are nowhere near the ingrown toenail war, number one. Number two, we're always in examining room, so I don't know. But all I know...
Ask him the next time you see him. Just curious. Just wants to know. Do you share your office with anyone? See what he says. I dare you.
Yeah, I dare me too, because he's pretty much the rock star who invented this
dude. Yeah.
He's yeah.
He invented all sorts of crap, but whatever. But ask him.
Okay.
Just we wanted to know.
But I will. And they're sharing a drink when the nurse walks in. The nurse walks in with files, and these two are sitting there what do you think, Joe? Let's talk about the hematoma. And I'm just like I said, it was so old 60s soap opera when he walked across the room with those two glasses with the ice clinking or whatever. And then does Claire ever ask Joe about his life?
Yes.
It's always all about Claire. If it's not
about Claire,
it's not about Claire. It ain't there. I mean, holy cow. We don't know a thing at this point about Joe Abernathy from the show.
Well,
Nothing.
Joe is just a tool in the show to learn more about Claire. I mean, he is.
Call Joe a tool.
Don't get on my back in the comments for calling Joe a tool.
Yeah, because it will happen.
She is very Laura Petrie hair this week. A lot of people were saying that in the comments, that she reminds them of Laura Petrie. That's the husband of Dick Van Dyke the wife of Dick Van Dyke.
Right.
And I totally saw it this time around.
I have to say, I like her hair and makeup. And my neighbor Teresa, who didn't read the books but watches the show, said she loathes Claire's hairdo to the point of distraction. She can't stand Claire's hair. She said this last week, but it's the same hair.
I think her hair
I like
the
60s eyeshadow.
Both of them have the I wanted to do my eyeshadow like that today too.
You want to rub it in.
I know. Blend. Where's your blending brush?
Yeah, you want to blend, which is what I was trying to do before we turned on the camera, and no, it didn't work.
Brianna is wearing. I have a criticism. Brianna is wearing too much pancake makeup. Too much.
She has a cute little chicken pox right
here. She does
here.
have a chicken pox thing. Yes, she picked at her chicken pox, and there. See, Brianna. Claire told you if you pick at your chicken pox, it's gonna leave a scar. Did you listen? No. Because Daddy, the historian, was probably it's okay to do that. Pick. It's really great.
Why didn't you listen? Did you ever see that movie with Jennifer Lawrence? Winter's Bone.
Oh, I saw it a long time ago. I didn't like it.
Why didn't you listen?
Okay. It is not funny.
It's funny if you've seen the movie.
I saw the movie and I don't even remember it. Okay. So, ding dong. Guess who's at the door, Carol? It's Roger McKenzie.
with a suitcase big enough for 2 pairs of underwear.
There you go. He's here to have a real American Christmas.
And you know that little conversation he had with the cab driver where he was like, this could be the worst move or the best move of my life. And the cab driver's like, yeah, buddy, $250. I thought, that's like every time I have conversations like that with people. You ever go to the grocery store and you're just like friendly and whatever, and they're like,
I mean, sometimes, but really, if I go to the grocery store, if I do something like that, it's like one of the only times where I'm like, ugh, I can be by myself. Like, if you ever have to fly somewhere by yourself, I'm sorry. Like, look, if I get on a plane and you see me on a plane, I'll talk to you about Outlander and stuff like that. But, like, normally, I don't want to talk to anybody on a plane.
oh, don't talk to me. Do not introduce yourself.
It's like the one time in my life where I'm just like,
right.
getting to do whatever I want to do.
Right.
Unless you're famous, because, yes, I'm shallow. And
I won't even notice. I wouldn't even notice. I don't notice anybody.
No, I would notice. If I was,
because I don't look at people.
If I was
I don't
sitting next
look
to
at
someone,
anyone.
some celebrity, 100% you can talk to me. Otherwise, or if you're, if you like mop and I'm the celebrity. If I'm the celebrity, it's all good. It's all good. Otherwise, if you're just bored and I look interesting, no, not that good. No.
I did have one of those situations the other day. I didn't meet the person. My sister-in-law, Jean, said, did I tell you that one of my friends or somebody's aunt or whatever knows you? She's like a big Outlander fan, and she totally knew you. I laughed. But yeah, if I can't remember. I mean, I used to be on planes 24/7 pre-kids, but I haven't been on a plane alone in a while.
Yeah, no. All right. Okay, moving on. So Raj is here. He wants a good big American Christmas. And he walks in on a huge fight because what's happening? Brianna is dropping out of Harvard. And she's moving out. And Claire is not happy. Not happy at all.
And that's the video I sent you.
Yes, Carol sent me a video that I have not seen yet, but we might have to drop it right into this one. So Raj is all like, don't let me interrupt. I just want a big American Christmas. I forgot. He's so good. Oh my god. That Richard Rankin is so good.
He's so good. He's wrong good.
You can see that, like, he has something to tell Claire, and he's, like, hot for Brianna. But it's also the first, and I forgot this, it's his first Christmas without the Reverend.
Oh.
And so that's probably why he's like, F it, I'm going. You know what? I'm going to see, it's either that or Christmas with Fiona. And...
because he could have called Claire on the phone, but he came all the way out here to tell her. And what I was saying was that when they walked in and she opens the door and sees him, I thought that was very lovely. When she walked, she did a good job when he was standing outside the door and she opened the door and she was like, and then when she brings him into the living room to see Claire, all I could think of from the door to the living room was when Marcia Brady takes Davy Jones from the door into the living room.
Oh my god, Bree is so Marcia Brady.
You guys, you will see this and be like, oh my god, it's so true. The whole scene. And I was like, did she study? Did she channel Marcia Brady in this scene? Oh my
god. She is so Marcia. I can't even stand it.
Like, to the point where you're expecting her to say, something suddenly came up.
I'm sorry, Raj. Something suddenly came up.
Roger, let's hang out tomorrow. Something suddenly came up.
Far out.
Groovy.
Oh my god.
Hey, you guys. Can someone throw a football at Sophie Skelton?
Oh my god, okay. my God, we have to move on because we're already half an hour into this thing, and it's
What's going on?
I know.
We have, you guys, we're like, what are we going to talk about in this video? And now we're like making up for it by talking about every little thing. And I know I'm the more guilty one than Tracey.
Okay.
I'm like talking about everything.
Okay, all right. So Roger has the news. So Brianna, was like, F you, Mom. I'm leaving Harvard. I don't know where the hell she was going. I guess somebody was going to put her up. I don't know. With her one little box.
Who beat? I mean, Claire and Bree are pretty much BFFs. I don't think they really have anybody else. Who beat?
Okay, so she goes off. Roger's news. He has found Jamie. He has found a newspaper, or whatever.
You just skipped a lot. Like they were fighting when he walked in.
I said that already.
And yeah, but I have Claire's really good at recovering because she's like, it's okay, Roger. Come in, you'll stay here. And she's really good at recovering because I'd be like, good when he's like, I think I'll go to my hotel. And I would have said, yeah, why don't you go to your hotel right now? I'll call you later. And instead Claire's like, oh no, come in. I mean, are you kidding me? That is a monstrous fight they were having. And then she takes off.
I know.
That's a big deal.
I know. Bree was like, thank God, Roger. See you tomorrow.
Yeah,
bye.
And Claire slides right into hostess with the mostest mode.
All right.
Go Claire with the cheese plate.
I know. Claire saves the day. She's very good. So we find out Jamie is still alive. Roger has found out that he's found a printer, Alexander Malcolm, who is wont to quote lines from Robert Burns, who is currently in his day 6 years old. So Roger thinks there might be something to this. And Claire is all freaked out. And she's like, what if it's not him? What if it's... I can't go through it again. I can't go through it again.
20... Uh-oh. Is our sound off?
Why?
20 years ago, I closed the door from the past. I can't go through that again.
So, no, she can't go through that again. Why did I write down... He said something like, how can I help what I can do? How can I help? Oh.
What can I do?
Yeah. I was just like, I just put down how much do you love Roger. He's so great.
And he knows just when to bow out of the sitch.
He knows when to hold him. He knows when to fold him.
Yes. He's like, I got a bit of jet lag. I'm going to retire to my bed. And I'm like, oh my God. The second his eye was out of the visual point, she took off and ran over to that printout and was like...
All right. So next... that sound is like echo. So the next scene we see, Claire is sitting in her little robe/housecoat that I swear to God, Pat's our mom, owns that housecoat.
She does. She wears it a lot. And Claire apparently relocated to Northeast Philly at this point. Because when did they move into a row home?
They always lived in a row home.
Where
have you been for the past 5 episodes?
I don't know. Because then I started thinking about Millie or Nellie or whatever her name was. And I thought, they were standing outside Claire's door and they went in. And I was like, where have I been this whole time?
I have no idea. But all I know is she's wearing Pat's housecoat, and she pulls out of the pocket the pearls. And she's looking at the pearls, whatever.
Oh, I cried.
That part? I didn't cry.
I cry every mention of those pearls.
Okay. So we're back in the hospital, and Joe Abernathy is looking at some bones.
Don't you mean a murder victim? I just know. I don't know how. I just looked at that skull and thought, someone killed that person.
Claire automatically knows the age and knows that the person was murdered.
And Joe's all...
What's she talking about, Claire?
Joe's all, what you talking about, Claire? And Claire's like, I don't know. I just know. It's
this magic 8 ball over here. It's just... I have have a Magic 8 Ball up there somewhere in my pile of crap. So yeah, I thought it was a little strange that she didn't, like, when Joe was like, "How did you know that?" Like, the first thing I would have said, were I Claire, would be like, "Well, like, my Uncle Lamb dragged me all over the world when I was younger, and I, like, learned all this shit, like, you know, through him. Like, I know I can assess a skull at 30 paces."
Yeah, I think you mean just as an excuse? Like, just like, I shouldn't have said that?
Well, no. I mean, clearly she's like, and I don't know how she knew. Like, but she kind of knew.
She knew because she knew. She just knows. It's like,
Claire?
she's like telepathic. It's like, you know, all tied into the fact that she can go through the stones and stuff. She just knew. I drink and I know things.
That's from Game of Thrones, if you didn't know. Okay. Yeah, I thought it was kind of weird that, like, to me, that would totally explain, like, you know, if you walk into your office and somebody's got a big pile of bones all over your desk, you're not going to be as freaked out about it because A, it's a hospital, but B, like, your uncle, like, your surrogate parent, like dug these up every day. So it's kind of second nature to you to be like, "Oh, look at this bone." Oh,
Which she was off about the year. 50 years.
That's true. So they talk about the bones, and Claire's like, "Well, bones don't lie." But Joe Abernathy's like, "But Claire does." Claire tells Joe. Joe pushes Claire about her man. And Claire tells Joe Claire tells Joe the truth. Jamie or the man is Bree's real father. And to that I was like, that made me think, like, didn't anybody else ever suspect that? Like, didn't anybody else? I mean, I don't think this is a spoiler to say in the book, Joe basically is like, yeah, duh, because, like, clearly it wasn't Frank. And he didn't do that here in the book.
Bree looks like Jamie.
I mean, I guess you're supposed to think that, like, with the red hair, you know, she looks like Jamie. I don't know. I've never seen the two of them together, so
she looks more like Frank.
I don't know. But in any case, Claire, like, spills her guts, tells the whole story, you know, and that's that.
And I have written down that, haha, Claire, for once, Joe seems like he knows a little more than you do about love.
Joe's wise to the ways of the world.
The language of love.
Yes, he's very wise. Okay, we're back at Claire's house, and at this point, I'm like needing some entertainment. So Bree goes in the kitchen to go get something. She opens the fridge, and I like freeze framed and was like, "Let's play What's in Claire's Fridge."
I hope no one ever plays What's in Carol's fridge.
Well, let me just tell you that your fridge is much better stocked than Claire. Do you want to know what was in it?
Mustard.
Now, a lot of milk. 2 cartons of milk. I'm like, who the hell's drinking all this milk in that house? I don't know.
Good for your bones.
Some sort of soda. Whatever, like, Brianna was drinking. Like, there were a couple bottles of that. And it was like, I don't even remember what kind of soda. I guess
I was going to say Fresca. What was big in that?
No, but it should have been Tab.
Stewart's.
They should have been drinking
Not in
Tab.
the 60s. That was like an 80s thing, Tab.
Oh,
yeah.
I don't think so.
I don't think Tab was big in the 80s. I mean, in the 60s.
I think Tab was, like, certainly in the 70s. Certainly in the 70s. But Fresca, too. Like, that's a good call. But anyway, there was some juice. There was some red juice of some sort. And there was some jelly. And there was butter.
You're right. Soda was popular throughout the 60s and 70s, Tab.
Tab's a big thing. And it was, like, chock full of saccharin. You know, that's good for you. They still have Tab, actually.
And Fresca was introduced in 1966. And my cute mother-in-law calls it Fresca.
That's funny. No, Tab, you can still
Tracey's
find Tab.
So bored with me tonight, you guys. Everything I say, she's like,
you're totally entertaining me. I'm like coughing my guts out because I've been laughing, and now I'm all phlegmy, and I'm stuffed up.
Tracy.
What?
Andy Dufresne. You guys, I'm sorry. I cannot get off the whole Jamie in Ardmere, and it's like the Ardmere Shawshank Redemption.
Andy Dufresne.
Watch that all week. I can post that just by itself. Oh God, it's so funny. And every time you go, Andy Dufresne.
Oh my God. Okay. All right.
All right, I won't do it again. I'm sorry.
I'm gonna need a tissue soon.
I need to get off the fresca and back to my notes.
Okay. Anyway. All right. So Bree is like, okay, Roger, they're having a big deal for my dad at Harvard. Want to go?
Hang on a minute. You didn't mention the classic scene that they do in all movies where someone comes from another country or planet.
They watch Dark Shadows?
TV, and they learn. Is Roger learning to speak American by watching Dark Shadows? He's sitting there watching. It was like the classic movie scene with whether it's E.T. or.
I always remember it as being Splash, where like the mermaid learns all about like
Yes.
the world from watching.
They learn everything from watching TV.
Right.
Alan, can you go make me some pancakes? Okay.
All right, so they go to Harvard, and Bree and Roger have this whole scene under like these Archie things.
Archie things? Did you just say? You know what?
What?
You guys, I'm sorry, but I have a secret about Tracey.
Oh God. What?
She skimmed. She told me to skim, and she skimmed all of the building parts of Pillars of the Earth. That's why she's calling these
The Archie thing.
Archie
I'm
things.
sorry, but those builder parts were just like pages and pages of like Joe.
Yeah.
What is it, Joe the Builder? I don't even remember the friggin'
Tom
name.
Builder. Tom Builder.
Tom Builder.
Yes.
Yeah. You skip those parts. Anyway, they're underneath the whatever they are.
Wait a minute. I'm
Bree
sorry.
sounds like she's
Wait,
given
wait,
what?
wait. Yet another miniseries with Ian McShane. Do you think Ian McShane's going to show up in Outlander at some point?
Interesting. Who would he play, you guys? Tell us in the comments.
Okay.
Okay. So Bree at this point sounds like she's giving the boat ride tour at Disney.
What are they talking about?
And
in
I have
1884, why are they going on about? And is this going to be some future storyline? Did I forget something from the book? Why are we going on and on about the past?
I think why we're going on and on about this is that we want everyone to realize that Bree, even though her father was a historian and she was majoring in history, that's not her big passion. Her big passion is architecture. Do you remember in Bad Poetry 101? I shouldn't say bad poetry.
She was drawing Archie
Elementary
things.
Poetry 101. She was drawing those arches.
She was
So
drawing
you already know
Archie
that
things.
She's kind of fascinated with them. And the reason she's fascinated with them is because of the way they're structured and how, like, all of the weight is on, like, this one or blah, 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 blah.
Okay.
So Bree is kind of into maybe a little more engineering, maybe a little more architecture. Interesting to know. Interesting to remember. So, okay. Raj tells a nice story. I think it was about, like, his father and identity. He's really cute. He's really adorable. He is like,
I love him.
He is cute as a button, that Raj.
I love him.
It was basically about appreciating, like, his father and, like, even having this little story to, like, think about, makes him fondly remember and blah, blah, blah.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
We go to the Harvard ceremony. Claire is channeling her inner Jacquio fabulously. She's got, like, the black ensemble. So she's, like, totally, like, still,
I didn't get it.
Like pretending to be in mourning or, like, faking the mourning period.
How much time has passed?
It's a good question.
Since Frank died, and she's head to toe in black. She looks like, I'll tell you who she looks like. Mrs. Kittner. She looks like someone's going to come along. She looks like she's going to slap Chief Brody. And,
Little sharks.
and someone's going to talk about that Kittner boy spilling out all over the dog. I don't mean to be mean. I just don't. It's not the funeral, for God's sake. Why is Claire? Is this? I don't understand why Claire is like head to toe in black, like she's gonna fall over the casket.
Well, maybe she's like still in that like year of mourning, and but she's not always wearing black because she like goes to the hospital and has a white coat on and whatnot. But I don't know. But anyway, yes. But she was very Jackie O. She was very Miss Skinner. That's so great.
I'm typing out Kittner Boy's mother, so I remember to send you the video.
Okay, so along comes clearly someone who's like a professor, and like the dean or whoever's talking to Claire is all mean to her, and he's like, "Have those reports on my desk in the morning." And guess who it is? It's CandySandy.
It's Bitchy McBitch Pants.
It's Bitchy McBitch Pants, and like.
And Claire's cat fight look at her is flawless.
I had written down cat fight ensues, but I'm sorry. I am Team Claire on this one.
I am
Team Claire
totally Team Claire.
On this
I
one.
was like, I'm sorry. Aren't you the mistress having this attitude? I do not think so.
CandySandy is all like, why didn't you leave him? Like, you clearly didn't love him, and like, he could have been with me, and and even when he was with me, he still kind of loved you a little bit, and like, that sucked. And like,
how dare you? You were like married to him and paid a mortgage with him.
And I was like, basically, if Claire had been like, "Too bad, bitch, you lose, bye, bye, Felicia," like, and walks off, like, that would have been great.
I have written down, poor you, you hoe. You have zero right to have such an attitude. Look, I get it if she would have a conversation with her and would be like, I just want you to know I loved Frank and I'm sorry, whatever. I'd be like, oh, this poor girl. But instead, sister girl's going to come along and be all,
I know.
No.
I know.
You don't get to do that.
I will say, I don't know who the actress was, but she was very good and very convincing in her story.
She's very good,
because, her eyes were really red and stuff.
Agreed, yeah.
She was very good, but, like, no.
I loved Bree and Roger in the background.
Oh, honey,
no. And then they show Bree and Roger in the background, and the two of them are like.
Okay, so next, Bree and Claire are walking in somewhere. Like, I don't know if they're under the arches. They're somewhere, and they're having a conversation.
Wait. Where are you? Bree and Claire. Oh, yeah. But I have to say that before that little part is when I have written down that Bree's hair. Why does Bree's hair look like Bella's eclipse wig? One of Bella's eclipse wigs. I was dumbfounded.
Sometimes Bree's wig looks better than other times, I would say.
Well, I'm like, is that a wig? Like, I guess I haven't really noticed, but then I was like, is this thing a wig?
It's 100% a wig. But it looks better than other. Like, it looks like, sometimes it looks more frizzy than other times.
Okay. I wish it was more curly or wavy.
I know, so do I.
It's a little too straight.
Yeah.
Not that I'm being all, you have to have curls. It's very.
But then again, don't forget, in that time, you would have blown it out. You would have, you would have slept on the orange juice curl. I mean, you guys don't even know. Like, one of the, watershed moments of my life was in 8th grade when.
After the tears.
See, that's mean. That's mean. That is mean. I'm talking about a really important moment of my life.
I can't wait to hear what's coming.
One of the watershed moments of my life was in 8th grade. We had a school dance.
It's a very important dance. We're being graded on it for gym.
And so Pat our mom, took me to get my hair done, and we went to the JCPenney salon. And
Patsy splurged.
I know, Patsy splurged. And the woman, and I had fairly short. I think it was shorter than this.
Oh God!
At that point, I know. Oh. And I was like, the little orphan Annie do. It was awful.
It was awful, Patsy. Ugh.
But so the woman pulls out a round brush and blows my hair dry straight. It's the first time I had ever had my hair like blown out like that. And it was like revolutionary. It was a life-changing moment. I'm telling you, it was a life-changing moment. So that was a big deal. Like in that time period, you didn't want curly hair. Trust me, you want curly hair. So you might sleep on juice boxes, or like juice cans, or you might like iron your hair, whatever.
Mm-hmm,
So Bree, I like to think that she has wavy hair because, like, look at Claire and look at Jamie. I don't think she'd end up with that straight hair, but maybe she irons it or does something to like make it look like that.
True. And I think that's maybe the point right now, is that she's trying to look late 60s.
Right. Okay. So they talk about Frank and like, I don't know. Bree just, she's like, oh yeah, it was because of me that you couldn't go back to Jamie, and every time like Daddy looked at me, he must have seen, somebody that you were in love with, and he must have really hated me, and I don't know.
I said that I liked her confusion. I thought it came off very real, but I had to laugh. I have written down, I'm here at Frank's celebration at Harvard, yet I'm carrying around Jamie's printout in this purse that I probably use twice a year. Like, this purse is so obviously her, like, funeral /
We all have them, right?
Like luncheon for something somber purse.
I have to tell you that I have a black purse like that, and it has all of the like little like cards, like the little like like funeral cards or whatever.
Yeah.
And I kind of like it. Like I like like pulling out my friend or my or like our aunt or whatever. Yes. Like and
Yeah. But she's like, funny you should say that, Bree, because I've been wanting to talk to you, and I'm like, you were wanting to talk to her at Frank's celebration at Harvard, like, about this?
Like that's what? A good time. That's the good time. Yeah. I was looking for a good time, and like I decided that here under these arches at Harvard would be the good time.
The only thing I can think of before anyone gets mad at me or says, duh, Carol, maybe she's taking it with her, like, everywhere. Like, maybe she just can't even be without it.
Here's the script to my play, right? And I just keep it with me all the time because I figure, like, that's how I'm going to learn my lines, like this.
Come on, I am serious. It's Jamie. Like I said when Roger went to bed, if I were her, I would have made, like, the quickest beeline for that piece of paper. I probably would have slept with it. So it's not that out of the realm of normalcy that she would take it and be like, I'm taking this with me because I have to have it with me at all times. Right. I mean, my God, it says on it, Alexander Malcolm. Holy cow.
Right. So Claire fesses up to Bree. Okay, so now we're back to the hospital. They're watching Apollo 8 land. I forget which Apollo that is. I don't think it's the really big one. It's not the land on the moon one, so whatever. And we get some Claire narration.
And Claire's like, Joe, let me tell you what it's like to go on a trip like that, because I'm smarter than all those astronauts anyway.
Oh, that was a snorty snort. So again, I just have all of these, like, all right, so now Claire and Bree talk again. Bree wants her to go.
Very nice that Bree gave her approval.
Like, where they were. Are they just kind of sitting around? I think they're just kind of sitting around. Actually, yes, I do.
I really have to say this was one part in the show that I was very touched. I love that Bree, when she said, like, Jamie deserves to know about me.
Right.
Like, that angle is really what got Claire and made it okay for Claire to leave her.
Right.
Because he's been left for all of this time. He doesn't know a thing about me. He deserves to know about me. And all I could think of was all of the ancestry research that I do on our grandfather, who no one ever knew. Look at her rolling her eyes about our flesh and blood. This man had pneumonia and emphysema and laid in a hospital bed in 1933 for a year and then died there. So to me, this man deserves us to know about him. He suffered. You know what I mean? So like I saw that scene and I was like, you know what? God bless her that she realizes that Jamie deserves to know about her. So get your butt back to those stones and go through. And that made it okay for Claire to say, all right, I'm going to leave you. I'm going to go.
I still don't remember where they were when they had that conversation, but okay.
Were they under the archways? Because that's where they usually
And I
are.
literally just watched that an hour ago. Okay. So we're back in the hospital, back in the office. Claire's talking to Joe. Basically, she's like, Joe, am I hot? And Joe's like, skinny body, nice ass. And she's like, yeah, but I want to hear you.
Yeah, and it's at this point that I'm thinking, sometimes Joe looks pretty hot. And frankly, I might not even go back to the Stones. I might just stay here and date Joe.
I think Joe has a wife. Joe has a wife in the books, but they haven't really said it in the show.
We don't know what Joe has on this show because Claire never asks him about himself.
Joe is Joe's like a means to an end, I think. Like, Joe's not his own person. The way, like, Roger is or whatever.
Poor Joe, because what bothers me is that I love Joe in the books. Love, love, love Joe. And in this show, I feel like he's, like you said, he's a tool. He's just a little bit of a vehicle to get from point A to point B.
Yeah, like, I don't know that we're going to see Joe anymore this season. But, it's all good. It's all good. Okay. It's Christmas. Everyone's giving up gifts. And Claire's making a little list of what she's going to need. So Bree gave her a gemstone, so that's covered. She's going to sew a dress because she's made all these costumes of Bree's plays for like 16 years now. So she can totally make a dress.
She can.
Now, let's talk about this. Let's talk about this montage.
What's the date?
Now or then?
This day that they're celebrating right now.
Christmas.
Like, is it Christmas or is it Christmas Eve?
It's whenever they give out gifts.
Okay, I'm going to say Christmas Eve.
Okay.
And what year is it?
68, 69.
So, who's being born?
Oh, shut up! Oh my god! Totally! Oh my god. So, okay, that's going on in Boston. And then, but, like, in
Summit, New Jersey.
At Overlook Hospital, someone else is being born. That's crazy. Oh my god, that's really funny. That's very true. I never really thought of that. Okay. So can we talk about Claire and making that dress? Really?
Well, so Claire can work a sewing machine and manufacture an authentic 18th century outfit, but she can't light a stove burner. Number one. Number two, there's a lot more fabric on that 18th century outfit than there was in the initial raincoat.
Yeah.
It's like the loaves and the fishes.
It's like several raincoats.
You would have had to have had like 8 raincoats.
They needed all of the raincoats from that Seinfeld episode. Did you ever see that?
Probably, but
okay. I was gonna say something about the raincoats. I just, in the books, I mean, this isn't a spoiler because it doesn't really matter. It's just a difference. In the books, it's kind of like she buys like a Jessica McClintock. It's some other like brand that they make up, but it's like Jessica McClintock.
Yes. It's like all our prom dresses from the 80s.
Yes.
And she's all worried that it has the zipper.
Right.
Because they didn't have zippers back then.
Realistic. But like I actually like that better. Like I think it's really like, it like falls into the realm of is there nothing Claire can't do? Yes, she can whip up like an 18th century authentic costume overnight. Like Terry Dressback, step aside, bro, because Claire Fraser is like the new
you need
girl
Claire
in
on your
town.
team. You need Claire on your team. And what I laughed about was I was like, I'm sorry, isn't it like Christmas Eve and everyone's giving gifts and you're up here making a dress? And it takes her like 15 minutes. She's like Molly Ringwald she's like Molly Ringwald in Pretty in Pink, where she's just like, I need 15 minutes and a pair of scissors.
And a sewing machine.
Go. and she starts going and then we're here no Batman.
That
I
was just yeah. That was a
what the
little.
heck?
That was a
Yeah.
little
You
like.
know what? How about this? How about cutting out the Paul Revere lesson and giving us 30 seconds of Claire shopping in some vintage places for
Right,
some
right,
dresses?
right. Agreed. But then again, you need that set, and it, yeah, whatever.
And one thing that I have to say kind of bugged me. It was just one of those little things from Outlander that I wish they had done. One of my favorite things that they didn't do. And it's silly. It's silly. You're going to be like, that's your favorite thing. I loved in the books, you guys, she packed a peanut butter and jelly sandwich with her, and she put her little peanut butter and jelly sandwich in her pocket just in case she got hungry. And there
And
was
she
a
ate
time,
it.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
later where she
No, I
actually
get that. No, I don't think that
says,
that's
"I ate
silly.
my peanut butter and jelly sandwich," and I just think because it's so like modern day to have peanut butter and jelly.
I mean, I
Oh.
guess they just didn't have. I mean, like they cut a ton of stuff out of like, her whole like getting there and like some traveling to wherever it is that Jamie is, but like,
Yeah, whatever.
But
But
I
I
but I
thought
get it. I understand that. That's a cute little scene.
it
So
was
whatever.
cute, and I thought it was sweet the way she asked Bree, "Can I borrow your shirt?"
Right.
Because she's basically like, "I'm never going to see you again." But she asked her if she could borrow it.
Right,
I thought that was
right.
very sweet.
Right. So okay. Then so Claire's ready to go. She says she's dyed her hair, and that I totally don't get because what happens when you dye your hair? Okay, if you dye it the way I do, I think there's two different ways to go about this. So the way I do it is I do the Natural Instincts, which washes out after 24 shampoos. I am in need of one now, so that's why you can kind of probably see a little gray here and there. Carol, I think you probably get color that's like more permanent color.
I get a 2 o'clock foliage. I get highlights and balayage.
Okay. But like, okay, so and yours like is a lot of different colors, so it's not as noticeable. But like,
Oh, this is the coat of many colors.
What's gonna happen when Claire goes back into the past and like a month from now starts getting roots?
She's gonna have the Cruella de Vil stripe, so she might as well have just kept it. And can we get back to this conversation in a few minutes when we get to the end? Because
Okay.
I have comments about that.
We'll skip on. Okay, so they do the transfer of power. Here, Bree. Here's the deed to the house. Here's all the funds.
18.
Don't spend it in 15 minutes.
When I was 18, I was so immature. I would have been like, "What? What do you want me to do with this?"
I think in the books, Bree is out of college. Is she out of college? I kind of forget.
Is she? Oh. I don't even remember. Yeah, we really didn't care.
I know, and she gets the pearls.
Oh,
Yeah,
that
I mean,
me.
this is very, and Katrina. I gotta give Katrina like way props to this episode because this is her episode in that like Sam's was last week. This is Katrina's episode, and like start to finish, home run. Like she really, really, really.
Oh yeah.
It's
amazing.
Nice work. Like
She's
you just
amazing.
look at her eyes, and her eyes tell the story.
And she makes it look so easy.
I know. So
I have something to say about this, but I don't know if it's a spoiler, and I don't want to give you extra work because we're almost finished. Remind me. I want to talk about something, but we'll talk at the end.
Okay.
Let's hurry up.
Okay.
We have like 2 minutes.
I do have to I have to give props to the coat porn because that coat is fabulous that she left in. Like it's like this tweedy kind of great coat.
Yeah.
So Bree goes in the kitchen and calms herself down.
Oh look, there's two lobster rolls made already sitting here.
Lobster rolls and Boston cream pie here.
They're right here on the counter. My mom just left, and I'm never
going to. There's a prop guy back there.
Yeah, my mom just walked out. I'm never going to see her again, but I had time to make lobster rolls and Boston cream pie. So she comes out with the Boston cream pie.
And Roger gives her a copy of Christmas Carol, which is totally adorable.
What's it called?
A Christmas Carol. That's why she
And-
was named Carol, FYI, in case the whole December 24th, 1968 thing didn't, like, fix it in your mind.
Pat's R was going to name me Brenda Noel or Holly. And she was going to call me Noel, but it was going to be Brenda Noel and call me Noel, or she was going to name me Holly. And she said the lady next to her named her daughter Carol. And every time they brought me to her, she kept saying, "Here's my little Christmas Carol." So it stuck.
Yep.
So when I saw them open A Christmas Carol, because it had just hit me, hey, this is like Christmas Eve, 1968. And then he hands her the Christmas Carol, and I'm like, oh my God. All right, sorry. Continue.
Roger is just so great, and if Brianna gives him shit, I'm going to smack her.
Roger is so adorable. I can't stand it.
He's so great. He's so...
And that's how it was in the books. You love Roger.
I don't know that I love Roger that much.
Oh, I loved Roger in the books.
I do.
Tracey.
I almost love TV Roger more. TV Bree and book Bree are both... you know what? TV Bree has a long... TV Bree is going to have to work pretty hard for me because I'm just not a big Bree girl. I wasn't before this episode. I'm not after this episode. Okay. So we see Claire in the cab. She tells a nice story, and then that
segue was absolutely flawless.
Like 100%. I said the same thing. Like amazing transition to the past.
Perfect.
Totally great.
Perfect. No one needs to see her go through stones again.
No.
Been there, done that. It would take away from the original going through the stones if they kept... No. Perfect.
So she gets out. She asks for directions. She finds the place. She finds the printer. When she sees that sign and she touches that sign, Katrina Balfe's face.
Oh my God.
I'll never be that good.
And I was on the edge of my seat. I know what happens. I've seen it. I'm on the edge of my seat, like watching this. Like,
so you guys who haven't read the books have to understand that, like, we have this part memorized. Okay, we basically in the book, she goes in. I should just read it, really.
Wait a minute. Did you picture her looking down?
No, but it was very Turn. It was very Turn, because do you remember in Turn that all the printing shit was in the basement?
Yes.
It totally made me think of Turn.
Yes.
Because it was on, like, the lower level. Is there a reason for that? Like, is the printing press really heavy and then it'll like fall through the floor if it's on, like, a real floor?
I don't know. I did not picture that. But you know what? It had to have been we need to shoot it looking down.
It was very effective.
It was very
whoever
effective.
thought of that was
and I'll tell you something else. They were able to make her angelic, standing up there with light behind her.
Her face, all of it. Her face.
It was like he saw, like, there she is.
Right.
Oh, it's awesome.
But I mean, we all can quote it. And there, bent over the printing press, was Jamie. We all know it. We know it.
I'll take you a step further. You know where you were when you read that. I was parked outside of school, never in a million years thinking she was going to find him that fast. And, like, my friends are coming to my car. I get to that part, and I'm, like, in tears. Like, oh, my God, I would never have read this outside of school. I would have driven to the beach and parked and read it or something.
I don't remember where I was, but I do remember, like, and there, bent over the printing press, was Jamie. Yeah, I totally remember that. So
you guys got to realize, yes, it's the way it is in the show with back and forth, but you're not seeing. You're reading this book, and it's a lot more lengthy and involved in the book. You're just dying for these two to get back together. So, I mean, at this point, you're just, oh my God.
So, okay.
Amazing.
So she opens the door. She hears, "That you, Jordy?" She says, "No, it's not Jordy, it's me, Claire." Jamie turns. He looks at her. She looks at him. He looks at her. She looks at him. And he faints dead away. Blackout.
Amazing.
Thoughts?
I loved it.
I loved it so much.
Mm-hmm.
I want to marry it.
It was perfect.
Like,
it was perfect.
So,
it was exactly like the book.
So, yes, but like I'm talking about like choosing it as a spot to end the episode. I loved it so much.
Yes.
You guys are gonna yell and scream because like, I mean, in addition to it ending like that, it doesn't come back. Like we're not coming back for another 2 weeks. We have a little break, so not only do we not see like the real reunion, but we have to wait another 2 weeks to see it.
Oh my God!
I don't care because it was perfect to me. It was perfect.
Perfect.
And the reason is this. So you know that one of my pet Outlander TV show peeves is when they treat it like a sitcom. Outlander is not a sitcom. It should never be. And like that first episode where they were like, oh, look at the red hair. Like, it was just stupid. This was funny, but it was real funny. It was based in reality. It was based in who Jamie really is. And it was also reflective of what Outlander does really well, which is turn stereotypes on their ear. So here you have...
The show or
the show and the book, really. So here you have, like, in a traditional folktale, say, you have a male hero who is on a quest, who, like, has adventures, who, like, faces danger, whatever, until he finally finds, the princess, maybe rescues the princess, and lives happily ever after. This completely flops it on its ear. The woman, the heroine, is the one who is on the quest, who has gone through all this shit, who has, like, faced danger, gotten there to, like, rescue the prince, and the prince faints dead away. Like, the way you would expect the princess to do.
Right.
It's so great.
I love that.
Great.
I never really thought about that before. You're so right. That's awesome.
It's exactly, I mean, think back to the wedding. Like, when do you ever have in a book or in a story the guy be the virgin? You never do. You never do.
Right.
It was exactly like that.
That's another place I'll remember where I was when I read that.
I know. So
that's when I signed on. That's when I went, I'm in this for the long haul.
I think it was the perfect way to end the episode. It was yes, we have to wait 2 weeks. I don't care. It was just so great. It was funny. It was a funny ending, but it was real. It was, and it reflected who those people were. Right. And I loved every second of it. Props to, when they were cutting the episodes and they made the decision to cut that there. Yeah. Props. 100%.
Perfect. Loved it.
Any other things to add to that?
No,
Jamie looked fabulous.
Said it beautifully.
Jamie looked fabulous.
Yeah. That's what I wanted to mention when I said later. I didn't see any gray. Did you?
No.
I'm kind of like, what were you going to say?
I was just going to say, I mean, you barely see it. There's very few shots of him, but.
I didn't know if.
What are you doing? Is that Tom?
Somebody will give us a little off-camera deep thoughts. No, not in the mood. Not happening. What do you need? Okay. Hang on, guys. Keep talking. We're not even going to see his arm like last week?
What? We're not even going to see his arm like last week?
She wants to know if we can see your arm like last week.
My arm?
Yeah. Last week you went in the refrigerator and you could see your arm. Okay, so anyway.
Yeah, now, my guess is that, like, the whole aging process is going to be, like,
the imagination.
Yeah. Like, use your imagination. So, like, they're older, really. Yeah. They've lived a lot. You can see the experience on their face.
Well, honestly, because of their ages in real life, to me, it's easier to see them older than it was to see. I mean, he was no 22 years old when this show started.
I mean, I buy Claire. I don't buy her as 48 or whatever she's supposed to be. But I mean, I buy her as older than what she was in season 1. Sure.
Yeah. Sure.
I do.
Sure. This is what I'm saying. It's easier for me to believe they're older than it was to believe they were younger.
She's so great. She was so great. I mean, her face, it was like beatific.
I know.
And she was nervous, and she was like excited.
They were both.
And she was like,
it was perfect.
It really.
And he that go back and watch it. I mean, she's got that. Oh my God, that happy like oh my God, and he's got that what the, and at the very last second he's like. He's just staring, and then all of a sudden you kind of see a tiny bit of which Sam Heughan is very good at, tiny bit of like a little bit of smile, and that's it was perfect.
Yeah, no, it was really good, and like I said, the cut into next week, and I would never have thought of cutting it there ever.
Thank you, Starz people, because we
Ron
really
Moore,
liked it.
Tony Graffia, I'm sure Matt Roberts had something to do with it. Well, they all sit down and they figure out what each episode is going to be, and I'll be very curious to hear Ron Moore's podcast for this one because that just a perfect place to end it. Perfect.
Agreed.
Did you want to talk about any spoilery things?
Yes. So go
right.
to spoilers.
Well, let's. Is there anything unspoilery that you want to add to this?
I don't think so.
I know we have to wait for 2 weeks, but clearly it's going to be worth it because next week the book readers know it's coming.
Okay, you need to put the spoiler then before
Jamie
you
and Claire
say that.
are back. Well, clearly they're back. They're in the same century again.
Non-book readers have no idea what's coming.
And
Spoiler alert!
And book readers do. So all right, we're gonna talk a little spoiler in the last
for
few seconds of this.
Yeah, I gotta go.
So jump off if you don't want to be spoiled, and stay. And we'll see you in 2 weeks. And comment blah 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 blah. Blah. And if you don't want to be spoiled, or if you don't mind being spoiled, then stay on.
People who don't want to be spoilers, we love you guys. Bye.
Bye. Sheldon.
Give us Sheldon.
Excuse me. Spoiler alert.
All right.
Okay. Really quick. Ellen. When do we see? Where's the portrait of Ellen that looks? Bree's supposed to look exactly like Ellen. And then when she gave Bree the pearls, all I could think of was, oh my God, those were Ellen's pearls and she looked like Ellen.
Well, I don't think we see that until
That's why I said better not say this.
Yeah, drums. Or when Bree goes back and she's in Lollybrock.
Like current Lollybrock, maybe?
Yeah.
The library or something? Is it in the house? Where's that?
No, current. Do you mean current Jenny years Lollybrock?
Yes. No. I mean current Lollybrock. Somewhere there's a massive portrait.
When they in drums, when Bree goes back and she stays at Lollybrock for a while.
Yeah. Is it at Lollybrock?
I think she sees the portrait. Yeah. I think so.
Okay. So she is supposed to look just like Ellen.
I don't honestly remember who she's supposed to look like. I thought she looks like Jamie a little bit, or a lot of bit. I don't know that she really does so much. I mean, she's got the red hair, whatever.
She looks like Frank. She has black eyes like Frank.
Black eyes, like a doll's eyes.
Like a doll's eyes.
Bree, needs to, I forget if I've already said this in the video, but, ixnay on the pancake peg. Just very, it's very, just a lot of, you're a young girl. Strip off that makeup.
Well, she has nothing to do with it. I mean, they put the makeup on her that they put on her.
I guess. Maybe that's what they did in the 70s. I don't know. I was too little to wear makeup in the 70s, so.
I don't know. I almost felt like.
Or the 60s, really. Really, it was the 60s. And we were really, you were just born. And I was 4. All right, you guys. All right, I'm unspoiling this part just in case anybody stuck with us or fast forwarded. So, okay. We won't see you next week because there is no episode. Most people are like, ah! Carol and I are kind of like, oh my god, we're going to do our laundry this weekend. Yes. We're going to go to Costco this weekend. Yes. It's going to be so great. We're going to like actually like say yes when like our friends be like, you know, do you want to have dinner on Sunday? But anyway, comment on the blog, comment on Facebook, but be nice. Twitter, comment on YouTube. The comments are so great, you guys. They're so great. We really love them. And
keep them coming because I love to read them. It's hard sometimes to respond because it takes a long time. I told Tracey, like, I was responding yesterday. I think it was yesterday. And I had been on for an hour already and I couldn't even get to, and I was like, I'm awful. I can't get to all of these. So, but I love reading them. I read everything everybody says. So please keep commenting because I love the discussion that you guys have on the blog. There's back and forth, and that's really like, that's what we want to see. That's what people, that's what we all need to do. And so many people will comment and say, I don't have anybody to talk to. Like, thank you for making these videos because I don't have anybody to talk to about these shows. So it's
you have us now.
You have us. So get on there and comment and discuss.
Yep. All right, you guys. So it's been a great first 5 episodes. I have a feeling we're in store for some pretty good stuff in the next one.
Oh, boy. Can't wait to see what happens.
So we will see you in 2 weeks. Have a great 2 weeks, and we will talk to you soon.
Bye.
Bye.